Hi, this is Bill Foote, and as you can see, this MBA 645 special topics, subtext through everything here is system dynamics. And go to the site systemdynamics101.com for all the materials associated with the 7-week course, 7-unit course, however you want to space it out. We're on week 4. Week 4 is kind of going to be bringing a lot of things together. We started out this week with a kind of a shorter video about an overview of where we want to go in week 6 and 7 with this diagram, certainly always in our minds. Basic form of what we're going to do, which is right behind me. So let me get out of the way here. And this is the basic form of what we're going to do today. And we've seen this in again, another previous video this week, where this was principal, debt. Okay, same idea. This could be reserves. This could be a pot of potential customers or your latest oh, maybe it's a fad, we don't know. And that's what we're going to ask. Is it a fad? And what is it? What is we're going to look for? We're going to begin to think about something like absolutely brand new in the market just a year ago, and it's not dying out yet. It's generative AI, an AI that generates content. We've been doing AI for a very long time. We've been using it in numerical control of machinery and manufacturing processes, building influence networks for big pharma. They've used they didn't call it AI, program trading, which almost brought down a whole market in the late 80s, and it's kind of back again. The design of financial contracts. The notion here is we want to see what the limits are to this. And are there any limits? I'm just going to write that here. Why is it there's a new smartphone, any manufacturer? Why is that? Why do we always get a new one? Well, it's because the old one has saturated the market. Everybody knows that. But what are the limits? That's the thing that we're going to be going for. And if we look at this diagram here, we have something. Here's the level. And you can see it goes up and then gets to a maximum amount. There's a limit to the growth. There's only so much lithium ore that is accessible on the planet. And designers of electric vehicles know this. They know that storage is a really big issue. We also know that fossil extraction, we'll always find more of hydrocarbons that will combust. Natural gas, one of the largest natural gas fields on the planet, is right off of Mozambique and Tanzania and Kenya in the Western Indian Ocean. It's a huge field. We've got it. It's there, and we know how to get it. Okay, and there's all sorts of environmental issues associated with this, of course, societal issues, climate change, food security comes to mind. Rather few food insecurity, energy security and insecurity comes to mind. We have some very large tail events going on in our lives right now that are pushing human decisions in particular directions. In a way, we're trying to understand that, but let's draw it right back down to something a little bit easier, I think, and that's the notion of what this is. And you can see we have level, we have flow, we have a level, we have arrows going in and out. We're going to label those. But the fundamental form of what happens here is something called this two different cycles. So if these are the purchases right here, or the level of adopters, we'll call these adopters, over here, and this is the market potential market. And the flow, the net flow between these two levels would be purchases. Or from the supply side, certainly orders shipped. Okay. There's a whole other project going on this other side called production, right? If we're talking about mining rare earth, for example, rare earths like yttrium and palladium and others, and conflict minerals, which is where we're kind of going in the direction of with week 6 and 7. This is the least of our worries at the moment. Okay, there are untapped producing reserves. They're not yet exploited yet, but they will run out. Okay, that's the idea. We have only so many customers who are possible customers. It isn't infinite. And if we're talking about something like Gen AI, I don't think subscriptions are necessarily slowing down, but there are new products coming online, improvements, innovation. So if we take that shot in time with what we have and adopters of a single product, we will see that it will exhibit this kind of curve. And the flow will look just like that. Is that a bell curve? Yes, it is. That's a bell curve. And this is a cumulative frequency curve, okay? Frequency being count of, but this is done over time. And right in the middle, it's very symmetric. We're going to have a very special point there, a point of inflection. We have exponential growth here. We have exponential decline here. And we get to an equilibrium when the two rates are exactly the same. So we're going to attempt to model this a little bit, and that's what this, there's an amplification over here and a stabilization over here. This will be the exponential growth cycle. This will be the exponential decay cycle. Birth and death work this way. There are two famous examples of this. Well, several. How much interest do you have? How much attention do you have? Attention wanes after a while. Okay, why? Because you get tired. Fatigue is this way. You're all, oh, fantastic, great, oh, so cool. Yeah, well, yeah, I'm kind of tired, I'm done, right? And that's 20 minutes, right? The time here is from 0 to 20 minutes, typical. Okay. My video should last no more than 20 minutes, but you have the ability to get a chunk of what we're doing here and just press pause, go take a walk, lie down and get some blood in your head, and then come back and it starts all over again. We'll start back over here and then wane again. Okay. Concern for people is modeled this way. There's a whole literature growing around something called agapic behaviors in organizations for change management. Organizations typically will say, very transactional, I'll give you something, I get something, and so on. Agapic says, no, I'm going to give it anyways. Yeah. The door is open for as long as I can keep it open. But even agapic behavior, I suspect it's going to look just like this. It's going to wane out. At the top, we have something called an asymptote, mathematically. Asymptotic behavior. That's the max level. And it happens exactly when we hit this peak. When we begin to make the transition. And the transition is, well, if we remember our maths, is called an inflection point. We're always looking for inflection points. Inflection points are very important because they tell the story of, ooh, things are changing. We may have to change as well. So if we want to still be in the market, we want to be in the market for something, we're going to create a new S curve. And yes, this is called S curve growth, S growth curves, the fabled sigmoid. Okay, so this is the design, and it's going to be worked out here in Vensim. Resources, well, we have to have a market. Yeah. There has to be interest. And we have to have a product, obviously, that people want to. Okay, those are some of the things that we should look at. Let me switch gears here and go to this side. And what does management do? What can management do? Well, management in this realm right here, this is where management is going to operate. That's where management is going to operate. Management can accelerate or decelerate growth. So this is where we have potential market feeding adopters, the potential markets. If we have 1,000 and we have 100 purchases flow per month, how many months will it take for this to die down, and when will that be topped out? Okay, adopters. And will all 1,000 be purchased? Remember our remaining work approach, purchased, and will there be 1,000 adopters? Probably not. There's always time. How long does it take for somebody to visit a site, and then mull it over, see how much money is left in a credit card, and then go ahead and buy? Okay. ChatGPT, for example, when it came out, very low rate per year. You have it. 3.5 or 4.0, and you see that the S curve for each one of those is going to be different as time goes on. So are there any limits to this? And what are the accelerators? In fact, are there competitors using decelerators? Yeah, in a sense they are. They are accelerating growth, and their S curves, which will look different than this. So it's like predator prey. Their S curves are going to look quite a bit different, and they're going to go in the direction of effectively decelerating the other. So it's a stabilization, destabilization. And the way this will work, usually you have a level, let's say we have the adopters here. There's an amplification here. And on the other side, that's positive. That's over here. We're amping up. And on the other side of this, we are stabilizing, or as, yeah, we'll just call it stabilizing. And when the growth rates and the declination rates are equal, what will happen when they top out, okay, we will eventually reach an equilibrium. So that's the theory. Let's get on to the actual practice of this. We're going to be looking at adopters, the fraction of adopters over the market. So if we have 10 adopters and the market is 1,000, 10 over 1,000 will be this fraction. This fraction will be amped here. And we're going to need some sort of lookup function. Here's the adopter to market. There's the adopter to market piece. And we might see something that looks like this. And this will be a multiplier. That's the idea behind this. There'll be some multiplication effect here that's inside this that will drive purchases so that the net purchase, this is going to be a net purchase process, will drive itself to zero. That is the idea. Okay, so I think it's time to put this into Vensim, get that going. And let me shift some gears here to do that. Okay, see you in Vensim land in a couple of seconds. Good time for a break, sure. And we're here in Vensim land. Now, for week 4, we're reading one Martin Garcia's chapter 15. And this is all about the innovatory firm, the innovation firm. We're going to be going to this as well, but not yet. We're going to take this in pieces between this week and next week because there's a lot going on here, obviously. And what's going on is we have an R&D, and this is the finance side of it that we have to attend to. I'm going to be actually building a cash flow here. Profits going into would be the flow into net worth. There's a profit distribution. Some amount of that produces liquidity. Liquidity is going to be used in, well, building production capability. Turnover is the word for revenue. Okay, prices times the amount delivered. Turnover is going to get to a cost of raw materials and profits and cost of production staff, and there's amortization. There's all sorts of interesting things here we'll have to deal with, but just be on the lookout. So start going through that model, at least getting the idea of the major players, what these boxes, levels, stocks mean. And what we're going to do right now is just build a little model for ourselves, what we were just talking about. Oh, there it goes. We don't want to go 100. We just want to go for 12 months. Maybe 24 months. Okay, initial time is 0, so we have all of that. These are the system pieces we need. Okay, integration techniques, we may need to get into that a little bit. simulation issues, whatever. We got a lot of stuff we can do. And right now it's trying to initialize a model for us. It's probably because I have too many models opened up here. There we go. And we're going to put up 2 stocks. Potential market. How many are in the potential market? Probably a Poisson or negative binomial process. Yes. Yeah. That's the next course. Putting a little bit more meat on the bone here. Here are adopters of AI. We want to put a flow pipe. Alt, click, alt, click, and we're going to call these purchases. See it? Yes, I do. Automated backup, please. This is going to be our simple innovation model. And I want to put that in models. This will be on the site. Ooh, notice Minsky there. Oof, interesting stuff. And we're going to need an initial potential market, don't you think? Yes, yes, everybody agree? Good. Now let's put that right here. It's kind of written out longhand here. We got purchases, we got that. Let's put an arrow in here. So that's going to connect. Remember, use the Alt key. There we go. As much real estate as possible. Okay. I use that term a lot. Okay. We want to drop potential market into purchases, the flow. And if you were to see the equation of potential market, I like the fact that this is slow. You see it's minus purchases, just like we did with remaining work. We started out with 1,000 cases of whatever confections or whatever we were making, or 1,000 pallets or 1,000 ships loaded or whatever, and it's 100 per period, 100 per, and that was the amount of flow out. So that's why the integration is that. But we need to put in initial potential market. There we go, just like that. And we need to say okay, just like that. Oh, we got one of these. So let's also do it here. And let's just say this is 1,000. And remember what we did was shipped a long time ago. We used a step function to do this with an increment and a date in the simulation timeline. We could do that here. That's a great exercise. What happens if there's a massive decline at some point in the future? how does that affect everything? A massive increase because your competitor just bowed out. We've got all these things wrangling around in our minds. Okay, so that's 1,000 there. Nice simple number. And I picked these numbers because partly because I might want to paper and pencil a solution just to see how it works. Now, down here, remember, that's the fraction of adopters to potential market. Okay, so let's put a piece here. Or ratio. Let's use ratio for a while here. Ratio of adopters to potential, yes, a lot of words, where the variable name is the documentation. And then we ran, I mean, this is the other side of the curve. This is, as the adopters grow, the market drops. Okay, we have that going on all the time here. Okay. Little Bezier curves here. And potential market is going to be the other input to the ratio. We have the adopters, that's now input, and the potential market is going to be the input here. And this is going to be drawing down while that's going up. What's going up? Adopters are going up, market's going down. There are limits to this growth. Okay, let's here. And we have one more ingredient to put in here, and it's going to be right in the middle here. This is like popularity. How popular is this product? Okay, it's wildly popular right now, depending upon the ratio of adopters to potential market. So we're going to put a lookup here, a lookup tool, put it right here. It'll be a nonlinear function. We'll make it drag this. From here. Now this is going to be an amplification factor or a stabilizing factor. What is it? Does it matter? Same idea. So the piece that I did not talk about was the archetype. So go back and find the archetype for this sigmoidal type of behavior that we observe all the time. We used to build curves like this for all the companies that were, and the companies within the companies that were putting out new products. We actually would simulate it. Because we didn't know what the market was really. You had to kind of guess because we did not have any hard data, did not have any good data. So we said, well, what's the maximum and minimum, right? And sample from that to build the simulations. We're going to do a little bit of that in the next round of this course, the next 7 weeks. It's going to be a blast. Now, the other thing we put in here, time to mull over. the expenditure of a $583 new smartphones. There we go. There's a scam going around on that one too. There. Just doesn't want to grab it. Fascinating. I think that's I'm just going to get rid of this thing. I don't like it. Yikes. Well, sometimes that happens when coming from overhead. I might pop that time to mull over down here and see what happens. It just doesn't like it. Take that. Delete it. Yes. There we go. And make a new one. That's the trouble we have. Okay. Oh, click. Alt click. Okay. So now let's look at adopters. Adopters should come from purchases. So let's just verify that. And we probably will have to say, what is the initial adopters? And we're going to say that's 0. That's pretty easy to do. Yes. And that's positive. That's the positive side. So that's growth, and the other is decline. Okay. The potential market is going to stabilize the otherwise exponential growth of the adopters. I mean, only so many adopters. There's a limit to the growth. Okay. Meadows and others early on in the Club of Rome and others in the 70s predicted there won't be any tin left. Well, there is, because we keep pushing the innovation curve out. But most of their predictions are pretty good as to the feedback. It's all about feedback, positive and negative. Okay, adopters, that's positive, and here's the negative feedback. It's all getting wrapped up into purchases. Time to mull over. We're going to say it's 2 months. Why? I don't know. I just feel like 2 months is the right amount of time. Okay. We'll have a sidebar where we can play with that. All right. The ratio is pretty straightforward. And that will be adopters, space, backslash, space, potential market. No, you can do it. There we go. Popularity. Now, this is an amplification factor. As the ratio gets higher of adopters, it's more and more popular. So it's going to have a multiplier effect. 1.4, for example, would mean that it's amplifying by 40% whatever the ratio is. So the ratio right now is 20% of the potential market are adopters. It'll be 1.4 times that ratio feeding into purchases divided by time to mull over. Okay, that's the idea. And the purchases are going to be, that ratio is going to be the ratio of adopters to potential market times potential market. See how it all works together. It's not that part isn't the neurosurgery going on. This is putting these pieces together. So let's build a simple graph. We are going to do a lookup, subtype, no subtype. The lookup, by the way, just to remember, it's going to be dimensionless. DM and L. And there we go, the graph. I want a table. It's easier for me to do it this way. Okay. Input 0. Output. Okay, we're not going to make it 0. Okay, we're going to say it is 1. I don't know. 0.5. And at 0.25 ratio, now let's make it a little bit finer than that. 0.1. Getting more popular. 0.2. Very popular, one-on-one. And when it gets to 0.8, you're going to say it's extremely popular. Will it ever get to 0.8 of the potential market? Well, I don't know. Just playing. We're just playing. We may come back to this. Let's make this. No, I'm going to make it when we hit point. 40%. I'm going to say that's 1.5 times. And when we hit 0.70%, we're going to be saturated. We're so popular, it's ridiculous. We're going to hit 3. There we go. I wanted a kink in the curve. That's all I wanted. All right, and I achieved it. Oh, yeah. Isn't this cool? So ratio of adopters to what? Ratio of adopters to here we go. Let's see what happens here. And we got it. So we have something here. Right? Again, we can change that. And I was playing around with it. I shouldn't have played around with it that much. Anyways, doesn't matter. Comment ratio. Oh, that's interesting. I don't know what that slash piece is there, but I suspect that's to put it in here. It's going to pick it up. The name is popularity and it's dimensionless. We got it. We good. Okay. Oh, this is the lookup. Well, Bill, you need to build. You need to do something else. Let's call this popularity. Look up. Oh, again, nuts, right? So let me leave that in there. Oh, goodness gracious. Popularity. Look. This will be, it's trying to read this because I have it's not going to like it. Yes. That's okay. Close. Do some surgery. So I need to put in popularity lookup here. And this needs to be something else. Let's see what will happen here. There we go. Worry about it. There we go. And the surgery will continue. Now, that's typically that. Let's do a grab. This. And take that away. Delete. That's gone now. And notice I pressed the first one. Okay. And I do a delete here. It gets rid of everything. And what to put this? I want to put it over here, actually. And now create a new variable called popularity right here. Join that and then popularity with purchases. Okay. Oh, and I think we'll be able to do this. Had a different thought about what my popularity, I wanted to link up popularity directly with into purchases. Purchases will equal this popularity lookup based on the fraction of adopters relative to potential market. But then I was going back in my mind thinking, well, how will this actually work? Well, I want this to be a percent or a fraction of purchases. I want it to be a fraction of the potential market. So I'm going to start out with 5% of the market here. Okay, so 0.05 to begin. That's some really eager people there. And as the remember, the input is the fraction, the ratio of adopters potential market. As that goes up to 0.1, I want to fuel a little bit here of popularity. And so purchases start to climb 0.2 of the available market. And we can play this all day long. But as we get up to these amounts, we're at 0.25. We're drawing a curve. That's all we're doing here. I don't want 0.9 there. I want this to go up to 0.3, more popular. Or we have 40% of the market. Now I can again play with this. I want to bring it down here. I want to bring this one way down. No, it won't do it for me. Okay. So I got that to 60%. And this one here, I don't want 3 there. I want it to top off at 60%. This is just here, so it's a little bit easier to play with. Here. I wanted to top off that. I mean, we're not going to get everybody. Not everybody's going to be happy with this. Let's make this 50% of the market. And we'll stabilize at that point. Okay, nice curve. There we go. A little bit better. Okay. This number is going to be the fraction of the potential. It's going to take on, it's a transformation of the actual ratio. So let's see how this works out. Say, okay. You see, you got to play with this stuff for sure. Depends on nothing good. It's good. And what we're going to do next is put a variable right here. Call it popularity. Connect it. Up. Connect it. Popularity to purchases. It keeps going. Yeah. It's messy. And there we go. Now, Alt click. Alt click. So it's a little messy here. Sorry about that. I'm not too sorry, but just a tad. Oh, cool. It didn't help out at all. And we get rid of this and we put in the rest of the equations, and we can start playing with this a little bit. Okay, we already know what that is. We need to Put two equations in here. Popularity first. Popularity. Look up. Open parentheses. Ratio of adopters. That's the abscissa. There we go. And that'll take care of that nicely. Good. And then this one. Purchases. Okay, purchases will be popularity times potential market divided by relative to time to mull over, 2 months. Good. All right, let's see if it works. Cancel that. I want to make this oh, 0. Do some more than that. All right, it's creating a file, my working directory. Had a problem with the lookup. Look at that. Purchases peak. And this is sigmoidal. Yeah, it goes up to a top and gone. The time and the potential market is a reverse sigmoid. Right? And what does adopters look like? There we go. We have the sigmoid. Okay. Now that doesn't get rounded at the top. Notice it hits a top and then boom down. That is a double exponential Laplacian function. Yes, good. That works beautifully. We have done it. We made our model. Hooray. Now what do we do? Well, make a cool graph or something and start playing with it, right? Oh, what is that sensitive to? Okay, let's look at that first. Yes. And drop it in there. And the bounds. It doesn't like the bounds. There's the sensitivity. Obviously. Okay. I mean, it's obvious that time to mull over should be a very important factor in the initial market. Yes, it's pretty straightforward. There's not much going on there. And we can change this bounds thing out of bounds at 10. I mean, something is going crazy there. If we do this, we're going to get that. There it goes. Everything's slow today, including me. Let's drop those in there. Wait, and wait. We're almost there. There we go. This is a pretty picture too. So, I mean, if the market grows somehow, the shapes don't change. What does a negative one look like? So we have growth here and disadoption here. Well, that's an interesting idea because what this would be is this is like the anti-adopters, the people protesting. As the market grows, more and more protests. Okay, and notice the purchases drop and go back up. Everything's inverted. It's fascinating. Okay. Yeah, that looks pretty. Now, now we have this. I don't know where this went out of bounds. Doesn't make any sense to me. I think it's the out of bounds is below where I have that X min ought to be 0. And that ought to be 1. Lock those bounds. There we go. 0 to 1. Okay. Now, let's see. That's where the bounds came in. And time to mull over. Watch what happens when you play with this. I want to stop that action. Lots of time to mull. Okay, when it gets to be too much, look at what happens when the time to mull is less than 2 months. I don't know what it is there. It's like half a month. This goes very quickly. That goes very quickly. And the shape of popularity is the shape of purchases. Hit 1 month. That's about 1 month. In other words, speed up the process. Rush to the door. Harangue. Send lots of spam mail, I guess. That's one reason why people do it. Look at this. Okay. You don't want to give any people time at all to mull over. Of course, the longer it takes, past the 24 months, we lose our shape. Want a shape back. Okay. There we go. My sigmoid is back, and yours is too. Notice this ratio is rising, feeds the popularity, and it tops off. Okay, and where it tops off, that's boom, gives you the rest of this dropping down to a level. That's at 857, and it just, there we go. At 2000, we can make that bigger, of course, bigger market somehow. We can play with all of these numbers. This gives you an idea, again, of growth models. Very, very, very basic. Potential market adopters. There's another one that built quite a while ago, an insurgency model. It's very similar to how foreign cells like cancer cells invade healthy cells. Is a very, very similar model. I may, if I can find that, I'll bring that out because insurgency models, I mean, it's a market penetration, basically, but it's also how we model violence by non-state actors who might get some foreign aid, though. Same idea. And you're going to see sigmoid S-curves everywhere. And this lookup table is going to be extremely important in that as well. So that might be another piece, but we can also use it as a way to build an influencing approach to eliminate or amplify one way or the other. So we can see if we could flip this around, eliminate or amplify a particular aspect, a particular level in the model. So we could say, for example, there's an IEEE paper I'm trying to get, slavery in the model. And how do we take that? So we have a way here of looking at growth in a market. We can easily, by the way, push this into operating margin and build up a revenue cost profit stream on this one. But what if this adoption means that we are using more and more indentured servitude workers, and we don't want to do that. We don't want to do that, and they're of an age that they shouldn't be working like this, and in an environment that's incredibly dangerous and so on. So can we apply this to that? Yes, we can. Absolutely. I'm going to leave you with this. Thank you very much for your kind attention. This is week 4. This is the first of the models. There's one more to arrive at your doorstep during the live session on Saturday. And I will leave you with this to play with in, it'll be called innovation.mdl, and it's going to be on the site, probably in a couple of hours from now. You can see the time. Anyways, I will leave you with this, and remember to encourage each other daily while it is still today. And with that, I will bid you, well, today's Thursday. I'll bid you a happy Thursday. Take care, and think systems. Much to learn, much more out there than meets the eye. Yes.